Welcome to Tuesday with Toya. My name is Victoria Fragoso, and I'm an independent artist, just screaming into the void here on the internet. And today is July 5th, Tuesday, obviously, Tuesday with Toya. I'll be interviewing singer-songwriter from Seattle, Carly Ann Calbero. Very excited to introduce you to her music if you haven't heard her before. Some exciting news for this week. I do have a double-sided single coming out this Thursday, July 7th. I started this double-sided single business this year by doing like one single. Sorry, I just got a funny notification. A single that is supposed to be like more like, I don't know, like poppy or radio playable. And then the other side is kind of like a bonus track. So my first singles that I released were Always with the B-side Kiss at High Frequency. And then No Moon with the B-side Possibilities. Hey, Trusty Sea Creatures, welcome. Shannon Book Music, welcome as well. So there's some sneak peeks pinned to my Instagram right now. If you go take a look on my profile, and make sure to pre-save my songs through the link. That just really helps with the Spotify algorithm. And if you're watching this live and want to invite somebody that you think might enjoy some live music right now, I would do it. So yeah. Hey Ivan, how's it going? And Natalie too. Hi. This first song that I'm going to play is on the ukulele. Oh, welcome, Carly. Welcome, Tia Rossi. Chayo. Oh my gosh. Tia Chayo. Always see the RCD. Anyway. Just out here going to play some live music. Yeah. Cool. Show me how you do that trick, the one that makes me scream, she said, the one that makes me laugh, she said, and threw her arms around my neck. Show me how you do it, and I promise I'll run away with you, I'll run away with you. I kissed her face and kissed her head, and dreamed of all the different ways I had to make her glow. Why are you so far away? She said, why won't you ever know that I'm in love with you, that I'm in love with you, you, something only you, lost in love. Strange as angels dancing in the deepest oceans, just like a dream, just like a dream. Daylight licked me into shape. I must have been asleep for days, and moving lips to breathe her name. I opened up my eyes, found myself alone above a raging sea that stole the only girl I loved and drowned her deep inside me. You, soft and only you, lost and lonely you. Strange as angels dancing in the deepest oceans, just like a dream, just like a dream. dream, just like a dream. Oh, oh, just like a dream, just like a dream. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the love. I saw little hearts going off. I appreciate it. And thanks for everybody who just joined the live and is now tuning in. That was Just Like Heaven by The Cure. Hi, Thea. Yeah, so I actually played that song at the Spot in West Seattle last Friday, and it was so much fun. What a great place to be and to eat. Lots of great drinks, lots of great food. Really happy that I got to be outside because the weather was that nice. Shout out to Philip and all the crew there at the Spot in West Seattle. I did last week also start working on a song I've had the song for a while, but I started working on the production last week. So I thought I would share it with you. It's unreleased. It's called Worth the Fight. And yeah, excited to play that for you. If anybody is watching this live, which I see there are, just type something into the chat for me. Let me know that you're here and watching and what you're doing. Hope you're having a good Tuesday so far. I've always had an easy tell, never need to say much else. Everything I felt is on my face. But with you it's not so simple, never so much as a wrinkle, just a steady charm, so forgive me if I get this wrong. So you gotta spit it out or let it go. You don't speak, I'll never know what's going on inside your mind. Well, I don't wanna let this fade overnight. I want someone who's worth the fight and thinks that I'm worth fighting for too. Inside your mind. Well, I don't wanna let this fade overnight. I want someone who's worth the fight and thinks that I'm worth fighting for too. Still working on the lyrics for this bridge part, so it's coming soon. When you keep it in, put on the show. If you don't speak, no one will ever know what's going on inside your mind. Well, I don't wanna let this fade overnight. I want someone who's worth the fight and thinks that I'm worth fighting for too. Thank you. Thank you for the comments and the love. What a lovely voice. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I've never had so many people request to be in my live, though. That was really funny. I will be getting Carly on here soon, but I'm going to play one more song for you. Let's see here. I planned an event. The way I met Carly is I actually planned an event with Sleight of Hand Cellars back in, oh my gosh, when was that? May? And it's in Seattle, and it's an awesome, amazing winery. Such great vibes, and actually going to go see a show there this Saturday, Tekla Waterfield. I'm very excited to see that. Watching all the way from Lagos, Nigeria. That's amazing. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. So anyway, sorry, I get so distracted, but I was planning this event and I really wanted to showcase Seattle artists, and I was searching for artists when I came across Carly's music, and just thought it was incredible. She was amazing, and she played with the loop pedal and this harmony microphone. It was such a cool vibe. She did release an album last November called Science of Pride on all streaming platforms, so be sure to check that out after the interview. And like I said, we're going to get that started in just a moment. I'm going to play one last song. So now would be the time to invite somebody else you might think want to listen to live music. Little tongue-tied today. The long weekend really took it out of me. But it's this little arrow at the bottom. And if you click on that and then invite somebody to watch the live, that would be awesome. I appreciate your support. And it'll be really cool talking to Carly and listening to her play a song as well. So I'm going to sing another song that's not released yet. It's called When Time Died.
Kiss me one more time. I've gotta be sure. This room keeps spinning and spinning, and I can't breathe. But I don't need anything or anyone in this room except you. 'Cause when time died, I was asleep by your side. Calendars and clocks are now obsolete, and all there is to measure time is you and me, you and me. Are you alright? I can't tell what's on your mind. Are you sure? Your hands keep shaking and shaking, and I can't sleep. But I can be anything you want me to in this room. 'Cause when time died, I was asleep by your side. Calendars and clocks are now obsolete, and all there is to measure time is you and me, you and me. 'Cause when you're away for one single day, it feels like a trillion years, and I'm not exaggerating. 'Cause when you're gone, it takes so long
Thank you. I love it. Love all the hearts. And thanks for everybody who just tuned in. Oh, thank you, Glendora. Thank you so much. Lovely girl, lovely voice. I love you too. Welcome to everyone who just joined. I'm going to get Carly on the live here in just a moment. Kiss at High Frequency is still my favorite. It's a good one. If you haven't heard that one, definitely check that out on any streaming platform. Let's see here. My mom's requested to join my live, but I need to get Carly on here. Sorry, Mom. I love you. All right. Cool. Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's good to talk with you today.
Yeah.
How was your weekend? Did you do any performances?
I did. Let's see. No, I actually took the weekend off, which has been really nice.
Yeah, I bet. Gotta enjoy
Yeah.
some sunshine here in the Pacific Northwest. We don't really get that. And
Yeah, just kind of
Yeah.
took a little bit of time, spent some time with the dogs and hang out with my wife and stuff. So it was really nice.
how many dogs do you have?
2 dogs and a cat. So
Oh, wow. Full
one-
house.
yeah. One is 1.5 years old. So,
Oh, puppy.
definitely a little bit crazy, but good. So
That's awesome. Well, I was hoping if you are cool to play a song
yeah, for sure.
right off the bat so everybody can hear what your sound is like. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Let me see if I can switch this audio real quick.
Sure. I'm going to mute myself.
Nope. Okay, cool. We'll just try it this way. All right, so I'll play a song called Honey. I'm standing at the edge. Someone's run off rose-colored lenses, and it hits me, radiates. What I'm given is more than I can take. Honey, I don't know your name. I believe in you all the same. I'll keep my eyes wide open. Honey, I don't know your name. It's alright to feel broken. I'm looking forward to a new beginning. You may have felt alone. I know that feeling. Inflicted a self-imposed. But if you let me take your hands, I'll keep open arms to hold you, even when I don't understand. Honey, I don't know your name. I believe in you all the same. I'll keep my eyes wide open. Honey, I don't know your name. It's alright to feel broken. I'm looking forward to a new beginning. I've got trouble on my mind sometimes. I don't let it go. It's easier to make my way on this road alone. But the endless possibilities when I can call you home. I wanna come home. You've got trouble on your mind sometimes. You don't let it go. It's easier to make your way on this road alone. But the endless possibilities when you can call me home. Wanna come home. Oh, honey, come home. Honey, I don't know your name. I believe in you all the same. I'll keep my eyes wide open. Honey, I don't know your name. It's alright to feel broken. I'm looking forward to a new beginning. A new beginning. I'm standing at the edge. Thanks.
So amazing. And I don't know if you could tell, but like everybody was loving it. Lots of hearts going up.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys very much.
So cool. So that is Honey off of the album that you released in November called Science Pride. What made you choose Honey?
Honey is kind of, I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to like theory stuff. So Honey is like the perfect mix of the two sides of Pride that I wanted to show. So we've got like the first half where it starts in that minor key, and then it switches once you get to the chorus into that major key. And so to show that, you know, there are negative sides to Pride, there are positive sides to Pride, there are negative sides to love, there are positive sides to love. So all of the, you know, the two things kind of coming together in one piece. Like that's kind of what I wanted to kind of show off there.
I love that. Yeah, there's so much duality in the world and in any topic, or even with music. I think that's amazing. I don't know there's a chord that you played at the end there. It's just like so magical because it's so unexpected, but it fits the song so perfectly. So thank you for playing that for us.
Yeah, of course.
Love her voice type. That singing voice type is rare. Yeah,
you call it the alto thing. Yeah, that's definitely an alto.
Yeah, but you have said, I mean, even with it, like using your range, you know, using your skill to play songs that, you know, showcase that, I think is amazing because not everybody thinks to do that. But if maybe you could give us a little bit of like background, how did you get started with music?
I started singing in choir in school, and my choir teacher in elementary school used to bring out like Shania Twain covers and, you know, that sort of thing. He would make it appropriate for kids, or he'd make it goofy or something.
Yeah.
And, so I started singing, doing that sort of thing, and then just followed it through school. Did a lot of jazz choir in middle school, and then kept going from there. Fell in love with ABBA. So, you know.
That's right. I remember you saying sleight of hand. So cool. And then you did some busking as well, more recently.
Right? Yeah. I started like right after high school. When I graduated, I went and started busking. I was working like 2 jobs at the time. So I was like trying to see if I could make music work. And I ended up doing better out busking and playing music than I was at my like 2 jobs. So quit right away. And, you know, things went well. And so ever since I've just been kind of, you know, slowly building up things, playing in different groups. And so now I'm really trying to focus on like my own solo stuff, which has been really nice lately.
Yeah, that's so cool. Because you've had like such a long journey with music. I think that's interesting that you're doing better at busking than your other job. But I think like obviously it's what you're meant to be doing. That's so cool. And with so being like more of a solo artist, what do you find to be like the difference, or what do you find refreshing about it versus like playing with in a band or with a group?
Yeah, I think that I am starting to play more with a band, but it's still all under my name, which is I think is a weird thing for me, because I'm not like wanting to be the one in charge all the time, and then like figuring out that I have to like direct the ship a little bit more. So that's probably been the weirdest thing about it. And then just being okay with the imperfections of things, especially when it came to making the album. It was like, okay, it's okay to have imperfections in the song, and then afterward, like when things happen live, it's like it's almost even better sometimes because it's like a little bit of magic. So kind of letting go of control, even though I technically have more control now. It's again that like duality thing comes back into play.
I love that. That's so interesting because there is this side where it's just, you know, I mean, you have to be, I think, a little bit meticulous when you're trying to create an album. And so there's so many things that go into it, so many details, but then you have this passion that just like, you can't always like capture it, I feel. And that's what the magic is about live performance, especially yours too. So with you playing, I know I'm kind of going all over the place, but I really love your music and the way that you do it with the looping pedal And with the Harmony microphone, how do you start by writing songs? Because for me, I would think that would be difficult to like play my songs as they're written and try to form it to a loop if it hasn't already been written that way. Or what's your process been like?
I actually didn't even start with a loop until after the album was already done. My dad had gotten me like an RC1 Boss looper pedal, and so really, really simple, really stripped back. And there were a couple things on the album where I had layered vocals. So Alive was my first single that I put out, and in the ending part, you've got like this little bit of like contrasting vocal parts. So we've got one part singing one thing and then one part singing the main chorus. And I tried it out, like tried to do a down chorus, and then it kind of worked out, and then just kept layering and layering and layering. And it was helpful because I was the one that was playing all the parts and singing all the parts on the album, so I didn't really have to relearn anything. But figuring out, okay, how's your timing on the loop pedal, and then having it very obviously in your face how your timing is. That's been interesting. I think going forward now, I'm mindful of how am I going to put this out with the loop pedal and have it be interesting to listen to and not, something that I'm taking a long time to set up. So that's probably the main focus is with the loop pedal. Don't take too much time to set it up, because then, people tend to get bored. I will find it very interesting to keep going, but it can be a little bit tedious if you're taking too long with it. So
that's a good point too, because I think people's attention spans are just so much shorter, but I would be intrigued by something like that too. I mean, it's just that, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. So I thought, that's really cool. Have you been writing recently some new material that you're working on, or?
I've been playing here and there. I'm kind of terrible about writing consistently. I don't know how you are with writing. Do you tend to do things off and on?
Like in spurts, I feel like I just can't. I think some of the artists that I've interviewed before, they say like there's a time and a place, and so sometimes you're in like that season of just like gathering and like experiencing, and then other times you get into the creation season and things like that. So I definitely feel that that's true, especially with music. I think it would be. I know there are people who practice and do this every single day. I just don't know. I guess the point I would make is to definitely practice every day, which I don't always practice every day. Do you practice every day?
I definitely try to practice every day. But I think at least from the writing standpoint, it's more about the like consumption of things. So if I'm reading a lot, if I'm listening to a lot of new music, then I tend to like have more successful writing sessions, even though I'm not like actually actively sitting down to write. When I do get there, I have more things to pull from. So practicing and like learning covers, which like I love that you like have all these really cool covers like The Cure and stuff. It sounds really cool too, and you put your own spin on it. And I think that sort of thing is really helpful when you sit down to to actually write.
Definitely. I've heard this before, but there's nothing new in the world, right? And especially with music, there's only 12 chords. And so it's all about trying to find a new pattern or way of expressing these things. Who are some of your biggest like influences, or does that change like over time?
I've got like my standard influences. So you've got like Brandy Carlo, Katie Tunstall. I listen to a lot of like Ella Fitzgerald for just the way that she was so like she was able to just sing things off the top of her head and make them interesting. And as an entertainer, she was also just incredible. So, and then I'll go back and forth, but mainly I kind of like stick to the people that I've been listening to for a long time. I do try to branch out a little bit. My brother is really good about having me listen to new music. So he's 10 years younger than me. So he definitely keeps me updated.
I love it. He's hip. He's
much hipper than I am. So it's helpful.
It's like, what is popular now? It's just, I think it's harder for me. I've seen for me, I felt that it's harder to listen to new music only because like I have so many wonderful people that I already listened to, like, growing up. And I really loved, like Vanessa Carlton and stuff. And so sometimes it's hard for me to branch out and listen to new people.
Yeah.
Mostly the new people that I listen to these days are indie artists because I don't know what it is, but just popular music doesn't do it for me anymore. I don't know. It just seems so, it's just hard to engage with. But that's cool that you do that. And that your brother, you said your brother?
Yeah, my brother. He
That's what they're, you know what? Family's always good for a lot of things. And that's getting new experiences and new influences for music, I think is great to find like what your family loves, especially if they love and support your music. Because then it kind of just like branches out from there. With this album that you just released in November, The Science of Pride, how did you produce and mix, or what parts of the album did like you work on? Because you wrote the songs and you played everything, but yeah, the production part, like the writing and stuff, did you have any help with that, or the mixing and mastering?
No, so I really wanted to try to do, like, have my hands in everything, try to do as much of the album as I possibly could. So I wrote the songs, I did the production, I played everything on there, mixed everything, did the mastering, and released it too. So
Wow.
I think, I mean, it was definitely a heavy lift. My wife was very patient with how much I was in the office. I think the mixing process was the most difficult, because we're used to playing, right? And so when we play it, it's in, even if it takes a little bit longer, the mastering and the mixing process was a lot longer because I'm just not as used to that. But it was fascinating, and annoyed me and made me really happy all at the same time. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. That's funny. That definitely takes you through a journey for sure. How did you come about picking the cover art or doing that that photo? Because I noticed like half of your face is bruised and the other half is not. So I get the duality part, but maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, I mean, half of the album I wrote when I was going through it was coming out of a really bad breakup, and then the other half of the album I had written when I had met my now wife. So it was trying to figure out how to portray that on in a photo. I felt like this was probably the most effective way. I don't think my dad didn't appreciate it very much because he has a hard time looking at it. He's like, it just makes me really sad. But I mean, the makeup artist was like phenomenal. She worked with me when I did the M&M's commercial.
Oh,
and
cool.
so yeah, she did a really great job and had a lot of fun with it. My brother did the photography for it.
Awesome.
And I mean, we caught the light just right, so it was kind of having that sun setting at a certain time, and kind of rising at a new time in your life. So again, back to the duality thing.
Very cool. I love how much like thought and intention that you put into this whole album. Plus, like, I mean, everything counts and everything matters. The photo, if anybody wants to see it, it's on Bandcamp, carlyanncalbero.bandcamp.com, or you can visit her profile. But it's really subtle though. I didn't notice it at first. So, but then, I mean, yeah, it looks really realistic. So that's why I was wondering. I was like, did she get into a fight and then decided to post the picture? But no, it looks really, really cool. What would you say was like the most challenging song for you on that album?
I think Science of Pride was actually one of the more difficult ones to write, and to produce properly. And I had tried a couple times. That was one of the earlier songs that I had written, and I had done a completely different recording and demo and mix for that, and it just wasn't sounding right. I ended up stripping everything back, completely redoing everything, re-recording everything, and that was like, it was a lot better to do that, even though at first it was terrifying because I didn't want to go back and redo everything. But which I thought was symbolic, stripping everything away and then rebuilding and putting it back together again.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear because the it is so hard to like throw stuff away, especially when it's
Yeah.
like music. I don't know if you're like me, but I'll keep like all 80 other tracks that like I didn't use or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
just it's hard to let it go. And that is so cool that you took the time to do that. For me, I think sometimes I'm just like done and that is like the best it's gonna get. But sometimes I think artists need more time to develop certain things or to have certain experiences so that you're able to communicate whatever it is better or find a newer way of portraying that song. So I think that's really awesome. Um, Especially to see, I mean, the songwriting process is so cool because it's how you can see how things like change from, you know, you first write the song and then you produce the song and then you perform it live, or sometimes you do it the other way around. And just having all those different versions of music I think is so cool to experience, which is why I love listening to your album. But then when I see you live, I mean, we don't have the drum tracks and things like that, so
Yeah.
it's back in a way, but there's also this added layers of the looping and your harmonies. So I just think that's a really cool duality about your
Oh, thank
performance
you.
and your album. Um, yeah.
Songwriting, I mean, when you're doing things live too, I love playing songs live before releasing them. I think that it's like I almost don't know if it's good yet if I'm not playing it out live and seeing what people's reactions are, um, and really using that feedback. And I don't know, some people think that that's like a bad thing and other people will use it, but for me it's just like getting the feedback from people's faces, or you know, if someone's tapping their foot on a particular part, I can really use that and kind of hone in on it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's a really great way to gauge your audience, right? Like that's
Yeah.
what you're doing it for. So that is really cool. I think, did it take you, how long did it take you to start sharing your own music? Because you were busking, you played a lot of covers, you sang in choir and did a lot of covers and things like that. When did you start switching to like, okay, I need to write, I need to express myself?
Um, I've been writing since I was really little,
Oh,
so I don't know. It was kind of something that I always, when I started in high school, I listened to Katie Tunstall a lot, and I remember she was talking about it where she's always just chasing songs. She's
mm,
not necessarily like writing songs, but she's chasing them and then catching them and developing them from there. And I always felt like I was just chasing songs, like they'd just come out of me and I didn't really know where they were from. Um, and you know, sometimes I don't know if you get this too, where you'll write a song and you'll just feel like, oh, I didn't know that I was going through that, or like I didn't know that that was what I was thinking. And it's almost like a very quick therapy session with yourself about like how are you actually feeling.
yeah,
um, I've never been good about writing in the third person. I've tried many
yeah.
times and then it doesn't sound that great to me.
Mhm.
So it's something that I've been more confident with now that I've been writing for a little bit longer. Having to do, I taught lessons for a little while, and I had kids coming up to me asking me how to do songwriting. So I was trying to look up what are other ways of doing this that I'm not used to, and maybe I can use that to make my songwriting better, or expand on my original writing, so that I'm not kind of stuck in this one place. Um,
That's so cool.
yeah, still feel like I'm chasing songs though all the time.
Yeah, no, that's a really great point. I hadn't thought about it that way, but the songs that I'm about to release did feel like that. Like they just came out of me. And sometimes I would just attribute it to like, you know, you're just inspired or in that moment. But I think you're making a really good point of like sometimes that's what you're going through. And so you just need to express it and that just comes out of you. Yeah, that's really neat. I hadn't heard that quote or that about Katie Tunstall, but she was actually the very first artist that I saw live doing a looping
Oh,
pedal.
nice. Yeah.
So that was really cool to see you do that because I don't see a lot of artists that do
Mhm.
use looping pedals, but maybe I'm not like looking in the right place or that's just not what I'm drawn to. But when I saw her do that for the first time, I was like, what is this? Like it was so
Yeah.
bizarre for my first time seeing it. this was like, I don't know, probably like 10 years ago in LA, but I just was like, it at first it was like, what, how is this supposed to work? And then it just starts working.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it takes like so much time and practice to, did you find the process like easy, or was it something that kind of took you a lot of time, or what was like the trickiest thing that you learned about looping?
It was really scary because I really can't use my feet at all. Like, I'm just not coordinated with my feet. So it's been, that was the biggest hurdle to get over. And then I started getting more pedals, and then I have to remember that it's not like Pokemon, like I don't have to catch them all. Like I can just keep my board like contained, and it's okay. I watched a lot of Katie Tunstall videos, especially in the last month, just to kind of see how is she using her board, and went on a lot of forums about how to utilize two different guitars on the pedal board. So just kind of, I think I have it in a good place right now. And I'm down to one mic now instead of the two that I was using last time we sang together and stuff. But getting my feet coordination together, probably the toughest thing. But it's been very helpful for my timing. So that's good.
It looks like it would be really good practice for that, but I am not. I mean, that's why I don't play drums. You know, I don't do anything like with percussion, because that just would mean that I'd have to keep, you know, the rhythm and the time. And that's not something I feel like I'm great at, but that's really cool to hear that it really does improve those coordination skills. So that's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so melody or lyrics first when you write a song? What do you feel usually comes to you?
It used to be just like the guitar chords first, and then the melody and the lyrics come at the same time.
Cool.
But I mean, the last two songs that I've written, it was the melody and the lyrics, which was like a completely different thing for me. And wow. It sounds kind of silly, but like it was just like, oh, the world has opened up, and like it's totally fine. Like it's just gonna spill out of you, and then you kind of follow along with the melody. But yeah, usually the chords, then I guess the melody, and then the lyrics are the last thing.
That's awesome. What are some artists that you've been listening to recently that you really like?
I've been listening to a lot of like Katie Lang, Patsy Cline stuff. I'm doing a tribute show at the Royal Room this Thursday, so cool. I've been listening to a lot of their stuff, and some old country, some more Brandy Carlisle. Katie Tunstall's coming out with a new album. Got stuck into Metric again too, because they're coming out with new album. So yeah.
Are you thinking about releasing more music this year, or what has been your focus so far this year for music in your life?
Yeah, I finally got the studio set up again. We had I'm sharing the office with my wife, and so we had to kind of like not have the studio for the last couple months, and so now I'm just starting to get back into it, and hoping that in the next couple months I'll be able to do a couple more singles or something, just to kind of add on. I've got some songs doing, so maybe some B-sides.
Nice. Yeah, that'll be really cool. I think it's always, I mean, if you're keeping up with an artist, you know, seeing them live or able to see them, I think local artists are like this, if you're able to like kind of like follow and go where they go. But for bigger artists that you love, you can't like go to every show, like Katie Tunstall, you can't go to every show in every city. So it's when, you know, people start releasing music, I think that's when people really like, you know, their attention comes back to you, because it's new, right? It's fresh. Mm-hmm. What would you say is maybe like one of your proudest moments working in music you've had maybe this year, I guess?
I think my proudest moments are always on stage. Like I absolutely love the musicians that I've been able to play with, and you know, whether that's like impromptu with like you guys out at Sleight of Hands, or if it's with the guys and Julie, who I've been playing with. She plays on violin, and like cool. I absolutely love just when everything clicks and it's not just you, because after doing the album, you know, all on my own, and like cool, like I accomplished this thing, I was able to release something you know, on my own. It's like the first thing that I wanted to do was play with other musicians on it. And when I heard everything start to come together, one of the guys that I play with, he plays on drums, he told me, like, I think you'll be really surprised at how everything's going to click and how everything's going to come together, and how, like, because I had no idea if the drums were going to work, because I'd written it all out and like tried to adjust it to make it sound like a full set. And when we played it, and like it sounded like the recording, but it had like that extra spark of, like, these are live musicians that know really what they're doing. That, I mean, that's pretty awesome. It's very addicting. So,
yeah, just hearing how your music like comes to life through other people, I think that's always really incredible. It's like, you know, even if you wrote the pieces, they're still going to play something a little bit different that you wouldn't have even thought of putting in there. But that's so cool to have, like, that experience, that collective experience of like sharing the gift that is music. Speaking of sleight of hand sellers, they just joined. Hi, everybody. And where are you playing next, or you're playing this Thursday at which room?
The Royal Room. We're in Columbia City. So I'm singing mostly for that one. I have a songwriting circle tomorrow at the Mill in Milton, Washington. It's a little bit south of here. That one should be pretty fun. It's completely acoustic. I'm going to be playing all of my own songs. We play in a round style, so it's the three musicians sitting on stage, and we just go back and forth and talk about our stories and do all that. So it was a really great experience last time, so I'm really looking forward to that one tomorrow.
That's awesome. Have you collaborated with anyone to write a song yet?
I haven't just yet. So I'm hoping to do that sometime here pretty soon, but we'll see.
That's really awesome. I think it's always cool to see how like voices work together, how instrumentation works together, especially if it's being produced versus like if you're just playing live. So that'll be really cool, something to look forward to. Let's see here. Just going through some questions. How did you find you've always been singing. Did you ever really have a time where you were practicing like how to bring out your alto, how to bring the strengths to surface? And did you take singing lessons, or what was like your journey?
Yeah, I did a couple singing lessons here and there growing up. Mainly it was all through school. So I did choir and stuff all through school, learned how to do my breathing, and really found though my vocals when I got down to Pike Place. And you have to belt, and I've always had kind of a loud voice, and then I realized that I have a really loud voice. And you know, I think down at Pike Place and busking, you learn how to release your vocals to like its biggest capacity, and then when you're on stage you learn how to control that power. So it's definitely been a long process of learning how to control kind of because it tends to be a very loud, big voice, and learning how to control it, learning how to use my falsetto or like my head voice, which I wasn't very good at, and how to kind of use those different tools, cut out the vibrato sometimes to make it sound better or add it in. That stuff has been the last couple of years. It's been pretty helpful. So
yeah, I mean, if you did vibrato all the time, then it wouldn't sound as cool as like when you had those really awesome moments where you do it, right? And then if you weren't like a little bit quiet in some places, it wouldn't sound as awesome as when you really use your voice. And that's pretty interesting to hear too. So with busking, are you allowed to use a microphone or no? It's just...
No, not at Pike Place. In other places you are, but it's pretty well regulated at Pike. They have like time slots that you're pretty much signing up for, and you have a permit, and you just have to be you down there. I'll play down in what we call the cave, and it's like this big cavernous space, so lots of cement. It really helps to push your vocals and your guitar out, and so that's definitely helpful, having the physical structures to give you a little bit more volume and get that magic like reverb down there.
That's really cool. Yeah. It's all about the space that you sing in, like where where that sound is going, right? And with performing on stage and having to perform with the mic, I mean, there's only so loud you can be before that mic starts to like feedback or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's all, yeah, it's really cool how you've learned to do both. Because that's just, I mean, the more skills that you have, like the better artist that you are, so that you know and can sing in whatever space that you want to. So I think that's awesome. Where can people find you? Where can people like follow you or talk to you?
Yeah, I'm pretty active on Instagram, so like at Carly Ann Calbero, or on my website is where would be the best place to find my tour dates and stuff too. So I'll have things updated on there. Got some brand new merch and stuff too that I'll be putting up in the next week. And yeah, so
What's the merch like?
I've got a friend of mine just did a bunch of like tie-dye t-shirts.
Cool.
So we've got like a limited run of those. And then I've got some Pride like sunglasses with like the Science of Pride on them. And I'm going to be doing like a certain donation is going to go to one of the local LGBT like community centers here in Seattle.
That's so cool. I love that. And that's really unique too. I mean, tie-dyes are really in right now. I just did tie-dye with my daughter, so that was a lot of fun. And then, yeah, the sunglasses sound so cool. I'm going to have to snag a pair.
Yeah.
But that is so great. So if anybody is watching or whoever is watching, please follow Carly Ann Calbero on Instagram. Sign up for her newsletter. Check out her merch later this week, you said?
Yeah, I'll have it all later this week. So.
Yep. And then be sure to check out Science of Pride, pretty much any streaming platform you can think of, but also Bandcamp. So that's super awesome. Well, it has been so awesome talking with you. And
thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you for agreeing to do this with me and for playing your song Honey live. I think that was just so cool. I mean, everybody was digging it. So I can't wait to see you again live.
Yeah. You'll have to play a show together at some point too.
Yes.
That would be really fun.
Yeah.
Especially since you got like the keys and the uke and stuff going. They'll bring the guitar. It'll be good.
That'd be really cool. Yeah. I don't know, so nervous to perform with you guys, but you guys were all doing like your own. It was so good. The magic that was happening in front of me, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is so cool. Like, I just wanted to watch, I think was the biggest thing. It's not like I didn't want to perform, but I just wanted to watch. You guys are so good.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you everybody for watching. I'll be back next week. And until then, I'll post some of Carly's stuff on my stories. That way you can find her easily if it's not to make it easier. So yeah, I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and